Good morning, YouTube. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Google Analytics Python API. If you're looking for user-friendly, flexible, easy ways to run Google Analytics data, then you're in the wrong spot. You should go over here, which is my Data Studio video. However, if you're a glutton for punishment or have over 100 reports to run, then stay with me. We're going to go over how to set up access to Google Analytics Reporting API, how to get the keys, and then I walk you through the code that sends the report request to Google Analytics servers and how to process the response back. Use the chapters in this video to jump to the point that is most interesting to you. And the notebook for this project is in GitHub, and the link is in the description. Let's get started. To get access to Google Analytics API, you have to first create an account with Google Cloud. So let's do this. This is a new account for me, and let's see how it goes. Okay, Google Cloud. Here we come. Okay, you go into Google Cloud and you click on Console. Okay, let's go to Home. My first project. Okay, you create a new project and you say this is going to be Google Analytics Reporting. Go into API and Services. Enable APIs and Services. And you put Google Analytics. Google Analytics Reporting API is the one that you need. And you enable it in here. So in here, you're going to create credentials. Okay, Analytics Reporting API. So what you have created here is something that looks like an email address. And you need to add this, copy this email address and add that as a user to be able to read your website data in Google Analytics. And also what you can do is click on here. Click on Keys, add a key, create a new key, create it as JSON, and it will download it for you. So this is how you create the service account. We go into admin, and this is all of our website data. And what we need here is to add a user in here, account user management. Add user. Read and analyze. Add in here. And the other thing that we need to have is this. Over here, there's a view ID. This is the view we are going to use when sending the requests for data. The notebook is going to be posted to GitHub, so the link is in the description. You can get it and understand what's in it. The packages that I'm using are NumPy, Pandas, and the Google suite of packages. Now, quick note, I was not able to make it work in the virtual environment, so I'm running it in base. If somebody knows what's wrong with it, let me know in the comments. This is the big part of this code. We're processing the response from Google servers to our requests. So the process is fairly straightforward. We send a request, we get an answer. Well, if you look at it superficially, it's simple. If you look under the hood, there's a lot of complications with it, and I'll talk about it later on. You probably will never run into them, but they do exist. So in this big code that I'm running, the formatting of the output is happening, and then the last one is actually running the report. And for the report, we need our credentials file, which is the JSON, no, not that one. That's the view ID. We also need that. So this is the JSON, the keys to the kingdom of Google Analytics API is in there. And the view, which is the number for the kingdom. So this is where we're creating the credentials, we are building the service, and then we are sending our body of the request to execute. And then we format the report. The format the report function glues two things together. One of them is format summary, and the other one is format pivot. These are the two main parts of the report that can be produced. And the difference for it is that the summary has the dimensions in the rows. So it's tidy data. That's what it is. That's the summary. And the untidy data is the pivot, where you can create multiple dimensions for the rows. Interestingly enough, you can have both of them in the same report. So you have the pivot where the dimensions go across the columns. See, I'm working a lot with the column index here. And it does take the same dimensions that you have for the summary, whether you have the summary metrics or not, as the other dimensions. So pivot is basically a cross tab. This is our credentials file, Google Analytics keys. This is our view ID. Just gonna put it in case you doubt. And I have several different examples. There's a body, there's a summary body. Summary is the tidy data. There's a pivot body that it doesn't have the summary, has the pivoted data. We have the short body, which has neither of the dimensions. Oh, by the way, dimensions are categorical variables by which you want to break down your data. And your metrics are numeric data, like users, sessions, bounce rates, those things that you want to calculate within that report. And then we have the unholy spirit of them, all the untidy body, which uses bazillion pivot dimensions, but none of the regular dimensions. Because, you know, we want to check edge cases and make sure even convoluted things work. So let's go. This is how the code works. So this is how the code formats the response back. Okay, watch it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put pivot in here. And it's going to create our pivot, which is the grouping in here, and then all of our metrics in here, and the pivot dimensions up on top. I'm going to do summary. There it is. We have countries in here, sessions, events. I don't have any events set up, and then the session duration. We have the short body, which has nothing, just the users for the last 7 days. Oh, you see, my website doesn't get enough traffic, so it's in the description. Click on it, and I'm gonna get some traffic on it. And by the way, if you like this video, hit that like button. So let's go into the unholy spirit of analytics, the untidy body. See how it is? So I'm actually having 2 dimensions that are pivot dimensions, so they're in the columns, and then I have here 2 different metrics, users and time on page, and there is a specification for the time frame too, which doesn't show up in here, but there's no regular dimensions, so there's no row dimensions. So basically, here's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to format this output, and this works. So let's kind of go into the code explanation, why it works and how it works, because, you know, we've gotten under the hood, and I spent some hours going through different scenarios trying to format it properly with multi-index headers. So we got the response. Let's check out the response. Do I have the response? I don't have the response. Let's check out the response. There it is. How it looks like. It's JSON, you know, the abusive guy in high school. I absolutely hate him. No, I'm just kidding. Let's format him into Mr. Nice Data Frame. So in here, what we have is all of the names. So when we go in here, so this is formatted, and then this is how the top header is constructed. You see how long it is, and this is how the top header, the metrics, then they're put into an array, and then from that array a column index is constructed. So that's interesting. So there's 2 basic ways to get to, let's say, the top header. Let's do this one. So this is these things that are going across, but there's 2 of them, even though it doesn't show. There's 1 for every column. And the way it is, let me just grab this piece in here, copy it over here. I don't think it's gonna like this thing. Okay. See where it is? And from here, we are grabbing dimension values. And because it's like in every single one of them, like little sub-dictionaries, we have to do this, the item thing. So let's do the item thing. We need an extra bracket in here. and a bracket over here, and something didn't go. Oh, no, we didn't lose a bracket. I don't need this. Okay, there it is. So another way to get there is literally get open close, same thing. And that's just how far into we have to go to get it, to get the data for the header. So we've got that, and now let's go over visualization, and I'll show you the data and I'll explain to you how to use it better and how not to make the mistakes. So I'm going to go create this. All right. So this is the table, and I'm doing the visualization. Oh, I reset the size somewhere over here. And it holds on to, Seaborn holds on to different settings, 6x4. So this is how you can do it. It's a stacked bar. Now, honestly, if I were doing visualization from this data, not for a dashboard or report that is run on a regular basis, like a weekly basis, I would just export it into Excel and do all of my visualizations in Excel. It takes so much time to fine-tune visualization in either Seaborn, PyPlot, or any other packages that I just don't have that much time. So that's a side note. If you don't like Excel and love Python, you know, to each its own, more power to you. Nice visualization kind of shows you where my traffic is coming from. See, my traffic is growing. You should join. Click on the link. Organic search, direct social, referral. You'll be under referral if you click on YouTube. So let me show you why it actually doesn't work. There's a problem with this data, and the problem with this data, and I'll show you how I know. I did the same report in Data Studio because, you know, I'm really pedantic about validation. I want to make sure that the data is correct. And what I found was same data, same exact view. I checked the view number, everything is the same. Month of the year, default channel, sessions, users, balances. First of all, see, balance rates make sense, right? We'll go back here. 104, what the hell is that? It's not on here. We don't have anything above 100. So I started digging in, and what I found was this. 233 organic search users in the month of January. Well, the month of January, 234, yeah. It's not users, it's sessions. What the hell? I mean, clearly it says users, and the output says users. But the reason why it says sessions is because of this. So I don't know what they, either this is how it's supposed to work, or they programmed it incorrectly, but this is not a correct representation of the data. See, I do this, and now this, and the numbers change. Now they're actually 195 in the month of January for organic traffic. Month of January, organic traffic 195, it is correct. Bounce rate is 78%. Going back, January, 78%. So now the numbers match. So this is, what we've done here is we've turned this report into a pivot report, which is, by the way, very nice. I mean, I like it better than this one. That's a nice thing about this Python interface. So basically, if you have a summary session and it has metrics that are different from the metrics in the pivot session, then Google does something where your pivot isn't actually an independent pivot. So let's try this. I've not tried this. Let's put users in here. So we have users here and users here. Is it going to work? I think it will. My bets are it will. I haven't tried it. The suspense, it's killing me. Come on, Google. There it is. I think it's good data. Okay, month of January 3/17. 78 plus 195 plus 42 plus 2. Yes, it matches. So it worked. So use the same metrics in summary session and in pivot session. That's my recommendation. Or just do one of them. One of them, you can go wrong. Okay, here's another one. In this particular case, I don't have a pivot section at all, so I'm good. Let me show you something real quick here. All right, so what I've done here, okay, let me run it one more time without the reset index. This is the original view that I'm creating in my code, where the date and the channel grouping, which are the dimensions for my report. So it's a tidy data report. I'm throwing everything in dimension, nothing in the pivot. Here's the metric. These are the metrics, and these become the index. However, for the purposes of visualization, I need them as regular variables. It's much harder to refer to things in the index. So I reset the index, and that's what it does. So this is the chart. It looks ugly, but we're going to produce it. Hope you found this video insightful, and I hope I gave you the right information to get your reports done with Google Analytics Reporting API. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get Google Analytics data into your Python API. I think it's good data. Okay, month of January 3/17. Oh crap, I need to sum it up. Where's my calculator? 123 plus 234. Oh, it's not sessions. See how bad I am at this.